For this one, I'm going to import my OIDC credentials. By importing those OIDC credentials, that's going to give me permissions to actually read this secret. Then I'm going to use, again, another function open AWS secrets. This is the integration to AWS Secrets Manager. We also, again, have an integration against SSM parameter store. I'm going to specify the region. I'm going to say how I'm going to log in. So this login is defined in this environment, my OIDC environment. So what I'm going to say is use my OIDC creds to log in, and then I want to get the secret with this ID, and then I want to output that as a value called GitHub token. And so that GitHub token is consumed by my stack here. And so these two lines here are how you make a required configuration value in a Pulumi infrastructure as code program. If I was not using IaC, I would have to store this token locally. Now, Pulumi will store it securely. It'll store it in an encrypted way. But now I have this token. It's static, and it is stuck in my Pulumi configuration file. And again, Pulumi stores those things securely, so you can commit those to Git. But it's much better if we actually grab this value when we are running the Pulumi program itself, because that way we can rotate it behind the scenes and not have to update static configuration stored in a file. It's much better essentially to use a pointer to the secret than the secret value itself. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So now I'm going to run my Pulumi program. The way I do that is by using the Pulumi up command. Again, this is a pretty simple program. It creates a Lambda, it gives it a role, it packages the code, and then it's going to create a function URL, and I'm going to run my function from this function URL. So I'm going to run, let me first show you, I'm going to delete this file. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run the Pulumi up command. Now this is going to fail because I have a required configuration value in my Pulumi IaC program. At least I think it's going to fail. I hope it's going to fail. I'm waiting for it to fail. There it goes. Okay. So as you can see here in this error, it says missing required value GitHub token, right? So the GitHub token has to be present in the program. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a stack configuration file, which is called pulumi.dev.yaml. Stack configuration files are named after the stack. So I have a dev stack, therefore my stack configuration is called pulumi.dev.yaml. So what I can do now is I can add the environment key and then give it the name of my IaC environment here. Oops, this has to be called IaC workshop. The first part of this, by the way, before the slash, that is the project. It's like a folder for environments, and then the second part is the name of the environment. So it's like a fully qualified path. So now I can run Pulumi up, and it will work. Because what's happening behind the scenes is because of my environment. So it is grabbing behind the scenes. Pulumi Cloud is grabbing this on my behalf, and then is returning it to me as Pulumi config with the key name of the GitHub token, and then the value is actually automatically retrieved from AWS Secrets Manager. So now my program can run, and this will take a few seconds. This might be a good time to see if there's any interesting questions. Let's have a look. Great question. So we have someone asking, for applications, where is the secret injected as an environment variable? So there's 3 options for how you can output a value that you retrieve in an IaC environment. The first one is directly as Pulumi configuration. So we basically will seamlessly plug it into a Pulumi infrastructure as code program. If you're running some other command line program, and you could use this with Terraform if you wanted to, you have the option to either output a temporary file. That is typically most useful for kubectl. I haven't yet found other uses for a temporary file, or as an environment variable. So if you wanted to, you could take any arbitrary value. Maybe it comes from a Pulumi program, maybe it comes from somewhere else, and output those, for example, as the TF var environment variables, and you could use Pulumi IaC with Terraform if you wanted to. Also, it's worth noting someone is inevitably going to ask about pricing. The pricing details are at pulumi.com/pricing, but it is a consumption-based model based on the number of secrets. And in practice, while I can't make any guarantees about what your bill would be, it is not particularly expensive to use.